Hello and welcome to the 207th installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, joined by our other host, Jordan.
That's me.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Remind the people.
As always, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Cast, and the RSS feed, all linked below. YouTube, Spotify have the video platform where you can see us as well as hear us. We also have Instagram, TikTok. Not really active there, but we watch it. If you comment or say something, we'll be there. And contact us via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send your comments, questions, concerns, and death threats, most importantly.
Yes,
sir.
I know you said you had something to kick it off with, so I'm going to let you do that. While you were doing the intro, just got like a fucking brain blast about something to talk about that's actually kind of important. So go ahead, do your thing.
The floor is mine. The floor is mine. So, Chris, recall. I need you to get the orb out and recall the history on this show, and perhaps numerous conversations that have come up over the years, specifically revolving around my car, and probably within the last year and a half or so, just like general complaints of like, this thing has a lot of body roll. I just feel like it has a lot of body roll for like a small coupe. A heavy coupe, mind you, but a small coupe. Just weird feelings, right? So over the last like 5 months or so, I've had a little bit of noise coming out of the front end, and I had talked about it a while ago, because if you remember, I showed you a video of my ball joint and my tire just being like, and I had replaced it. It was like super loose. So I had heard noises back then and replaced that and got a little better. Things were good, and I've started to hear noises sort of return, right? And it specifically seemed like I had figured out just through driving it that it's the right-hand side, and the best way I can describe it is it's kind of like a thumping sound. So I would hit a bump, and it would have to be a slow bump, mind you. Weirdly enough, so like a slow speed bump, for example, and you'd hear it go like, right, something like that, but a little more guttural, I would say, more like a dum dum, and less of like a high pitched noise.
Right.
So I let it go for a little bit because it was on and off, and then it just started to get worse. I'm like, all right, I gotta check this thing out. So I think it was after one of the podcasts, actually, that we had done right after I got back from my trip to Tennessee, that I was like, I'm gonna check this thing out, and I put it up on Jats. I checked both sides. I didn't find anything. I checked everything I knew how. I checked my strut. I checked my ball joint, my tie rod. I even had greased the front end at one point. And my stabilizer link, the only thing I didn't check was the one thing, or two things technically, I didn't really know how to check, which was the inner tie rod. Like, I didn't really know the right way. I just sort of grabbed it and was like, yeah, it feels fine. But I didn't really know what it would be like if it was bad. And the control arm, I didn't know the proper way to test that. Because, like, I don't know if you've ever thought, like, let me just grab the control arm and move it. Well, there's a spring at the top. You can't.
Yeah.
So, like, I tried. I was like, maybe if it's that bad, I could, like, lift it and it would, like, move. No, I couldn't budge the thing. And I didn't really feel like doing the YouTube thing, because, like, that's how you get improper diagnosis. Is like, you go on YouTube and you look for tips and tricks, and then you fucking replace the wrong thing. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'll think about sending the car in, but it's not bad enough yet. Put the wheels back on, and the noise was a little better. I'm like, it's weird, and it doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Drove it for like another week. Noise came back, got worse. And then eventually it got to a point where I checked it a second time. I was like, let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. I checked it, did all my normal checks. Same results. Couldn't find anything. Didn't know how to check those two things. So at this point, I was fairly confident it was a control arm bushing. I was like, everything else is perfect. And an inner tie rod should not do this, because I have no issues with steering, other than it felt like I had a little dead play, which could be a tie rod. And my wheel was always slightly to the left, just ever so slightly. So I'm like, maybe it's a tie rod, but like the noise still doesn't make sense. Why it's when I hit bumps and not when I turn. So I'm like, it just seems like the control arms to me. But I'm not gonna go buy control arms and do this fucking 6-hour job myself. Yeah. Like I've already had the whole thing off to the control arm before, and it took me a while. I'm like, I'm just gonna send it in for this. Like this is above my pay grade at this point. For what I want to fire parts at. So I brought the car in. Bring it in, tell him the issue, go to work. Sure enough, I get a phone call. The guy goes, dude, both sides control arm bushings are gone. Like, that thing is sliding around down there. Huh. And I'm like, okay, how much would it be? He's like, $500 will do both. I'm like, go for it. Done. Like, done. I'll write the check now. They do it. Now, it turns out it was so bad that they just replaced the whole control arms for $500, which that works for me. I don't care.
Yeah, good enough.
So I got 2 new control arms. The thing is totally fine now. Now, here's the thing. I will say, though, he told me as soon as I went to pick it up, he's like, so everything's good. It's safe. It's fine. but you drove it like that for long enough that the actual plate at the top where the strut tower is, where your studs stick out, is slightly warped. So there is still like a noise, but it's way less, and it's not a safety issue like that was.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, that's all I cared about, because really all I cared about was if I was to drive for our trip.
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
I wanted to make sure I could drive reliably that far.
Yeah.
That was my main thing. Not that I might not be the driver, but just in case I am. And also, who the fuck wants to have a bunch of noise that you don't know the source of, you know?
Yeah.
So, happens.
Something about the front end of my car's been fucked up for a long time.
Oh, shit.
And so I thought it was the outer tie rod ends, and I replaced them, and it like kind of fixed the issue, but then didn't. So, that's I did some YouTube diagnosis on that one, so that's probably has something to do with it. Don't know what it is, but it sounds kind of similar to that, but a little different. So essentially, when I'm at highway speeds, there's a vibration that travels up into my wheel.
That mine was doing that too.
That was going like a little bit.
Mine was
so I
doing
feel like there's gonna be a point where I'm on my way into work and it starts fucking death wobbling.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll just deal with that. I'll just, you know what? I got like 150,000 miles on this thing. It's like,
So
you know what I mean? So am I gonna get it fixed? Yes.
just not.
Am I gonna do it now? No.
So that was actually, funny enough, one of the more alarming things to mine was like that's how it got worse. Was it wasn't doing that, and then suddenly I would go on the highway, my wheel was slightly left, and I'd have to like sort of hold it, and then lastly it got to the point where I would hold the wheel straight and it would fight me, and I'm like, this is weird.
So that might actually just be the issue I'm having.
Yeah.
Because like it sounds very, very similar.
Yeah, and they're about the same age. Yours was 2012, right? I'm 09, so similar age. Who knows when they were done, if ever.
I'll deal with that at some point.
So the way I was told, because I asked the guy, I was like, well, actually, he just told me, which was cool. I told him, I'm like, I did all this work, like in the past, I rebuilt my front end. I didn't do the control arms or the inner tie rods or the axles. Those are the only three things that were remaining in there that I hadn't already done. So I was like, I got this far and I didn't know how to diagnose the control arm. And he was like, oh yeah, I got you. He was saying it's not like the easiest thing to do, but if you have a second set of hands, all you do is you put it on a drive-on lift, which in this case you could probably use just like a driveway or ramps. And you have a second person look at the control arms and someone pushes the car side to side. And you'll actually see where the bushing is. The control arm moves separate from the bushing, essentially. Like that whole assembly starts to move. He was like, that's what we did. And we could see yours was just sitting there. Dun, dun, dun,
Like
dun, dun,
pushes
dun, dun.
it like this or like
Horizontally, like you're trying to push the car to slide it
okay.
over. And basically the control arms are going to kind of stay in place because you're not actually strong enough to push the fucking car.
Right.
But the body will move on the control arms. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes total sense now. Like I didn't even think to try that, but that makes sense how you would do that.
I'm going to have to give that a shot then.
Yeah, so needless to say, that got fixed. And then the point of going full circle with this was I had complained about that body roll like a year ago. And surprise, surprise, the noise that then came and then got fixed, the body roll's gone too. So now when I actually like hit an on-ramp that says 25, I used to have to hit it at like 20 because I'm like, I don't feel like I'm stuck to the road. I feel like I'm like half off the ground. It's weird. Turns out that was because of those bushings, because now that they've been replaced, the on-ramp to get here right on the bridge over there, I hit that doing like 40 just to test it. And I was like, this is nice.
Nice.
Like, this is
Nice.
sick. So it turns out that things can compound as issues very quickly. Because what was originally me going, wow, this car has a surprising amount of body roll, turned into, oh, the clicking noise, turned into, oh, the clicking noise got louder, and then turned into, wow, my wheel's shaking, and all that was from the same exact issue. So
Interesting.
it's definitely an interesting sort of thing. Also, granted, that body roll too was probably partially from that bad ball joint I had previously that I had just fixed before I sent it in for the control arms. So it was probably a combination of both. But also didn't realize that by driving with shitty control arm bushings, I don't know why this didn't click. Like he said though, I was putting extra stress on those other suspension parts. So now it makes total sense why the right side, which was the side he said was like eviscerated. The left side was bad. The right side was like, this is really bad. That's the side that had the ball joint fail that I had only put in like 2 years before. Made sense now. And that's the side that the strut tower is now bent on. So I'm like, oh, look at that. Like,
Interesting.
it sort of fucked up my whole thing. So interesting to say the least. But that's all fixed, which is nice. And not for a bad price either. 2 control arms plus labor, $500.
Well, I'm gonna. I guess I'll I guess I'll act on that. So I'll because I'm not gonna fucking bother doing it. I'm gonna
it's a lot of work.
Pay somebody to do it.
Yeah.
So I'll probably work on it because I was concerned, and then I was like, that's interesting. So I gave it to a mechanic because I was like, I don't know what's going on with it. Like I only know so much. And I work. I don't have the time to like sit and fuck with this thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, I don't see anything wrong with it. Okay, then I must be just imagining things, right? So
yeah, could just be one of those hairy edge things where it's not quite bad enough yet. But because it'll end up getting worse for sure
it's
over time.
It's definitely gotten worse. So
yeah,
that might be that. So I'm gonna send it in. I'll specifically mention that as an issue. I think that's probably might be what's going on.
Yeah, something they can check in. But yeah, so that I ended up getting that fixed. So that was good.
Like, I was like fucking real close to just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna rebuild the whole front end. I'm just gonna have the whole fucking front end done, like steering rack, tire rods.
Holy shit.
It's just fucking springs, everything. Just give me everything.
Give me all you got.
I'll spend fucking $3,000 just rebuilding the whole front end of this car. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, at that point. Yeah, that was kind of my big fear was like when it started shaking a little on the highway, I'm like, I don't want to take this very far. Like, if I did drive for our trip that we're going to be taking, it's like a 4.5 hour drive. Like, not only is it like doesn't feel great, but also it's very uncomfortable to drive going through the steering wheel. You're like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, needless to say, that got fixed though, so I'm good on that front. And now everything's pretty good, it seems. I don't think I have any like major issues. At some point, I may replace that strut, but like the guy said, he was like, it's not a safety issue. It's just annoying because now it's almost like a metal on metal sound. Like it's like two plates are just going. Because now there's a bend in it, so there's a gap. So that gap's allowed to sort of smack together.
Yeah, this is not a safety concern. I could give a fuck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's quiet enough that it's not as loud as it was when it was bad. And I know it's not a safety issue at this point, so I don't care. Like,
totally fair.
If I get to it because I happen to be in there doing something else, maybe I'll replace it. But, like, I'm not going to go out of my way to pull the front end apart again. Granted, you only got to really detach the strut from the actual knuckle, but it really wouldn't be that much work because I already took the strut off when I did my first check. But, like, it's also just money. Like, I have to buy a $200 strut and then, like, hope that that's also a good part. And then they tell you to do them in pairs because your actual ride height will be different, especially if they're not matching
one's a little
struts.
compressed or whatever. Right?
Yeah, and if they're different brands, too. Like, if you have an AC Delco one and then a Gabriel one, like, that's what I had at one point was my factory ones were the factory AC Delco, and I put in Gabriel, so I did both just because I was like, one was bad at the top. I was like, I'm going to do both so the ride height's even. Like, just shit like that. So, but that was my main thing. What do you got? You said you stewed something over there.
Yeah. So, you reminded me of something in the intro that is like kind of a big deal. May have heard. Some people may have heard. I don't know if you did, but the United Kingdom has rolled out a certain law that basically says you have to provide government identification to access certain things. Mm-hmm. And the list of things, because, like, I mean, like, I get, like, keeping, like, porn out of the hands of children.
Of course.
I guess that's fair, right?
Yeah.
But the list of things that includes is, like, kind of crazy. So, like, some of it, there's some speculation or some action that's going to be put in place that affects YouTube and Spotify in that law. However, that's a UK problem. However, YouTube in the United States, starting next month, or later this month, is implementing a kind of a soft version of that system on the US platform. So accounts that it suspects of being owned by people who are under 18 will have to show some kind of identification proof otherwise.
So it's like a targeted system, like it's going to detect.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing that I've heard. Who knows what happens? I'm VPN'd up, okay?
Yeah.
I'm VPN'd up. Proton VPN, may buy Proton Mail. Who we run Synapse Misfire at pm.me through that.
That's what the PM stands for.
Through that website. They're a Swiss-based company. They're not required to hand over any records of any of your activity over to anybody. and you can connect. And it's actually like, I've been using it for a few days now. It's actually like, I've used a few VPNs before, and this is by far the best one in terms of like actual speed.
That's awesome. There's not a huge delay compared to the other ones.
Oh yeah, no, like I used Nord for some time.
It's like a snail.
Nord sucks ass. I used Express. Express sucks ass.
Not very express.
Then I've used Proton. Proton's pretty good. And you know what the difference is? Proton VPN is not being advertised by fucking YouTubers. Yeah. Don't ever buy anything advertised by a YouTuber. And that's I'm saying this now. Groundwork. If for whatever reason we are ever in a position where we have to advertise something, do not fucking buy it. Do not buy it.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say Vessi sneakers, though, those sneakers I used to buy, I say used to because I haven't bought them in a while, but the sneakers I wear, they're really good. And I did find them through YouTube. But, like, you got to know what you're getting. What I always say is if a YouTuber advertises something, don't go buy it from there. Do some research on it. Like, let it be your exposure. Like Raycon. I think Raycon, they have some hit or miss stuff, but they're a pretty good brand for what they are.
I think Raycons, I had the E25s, like the original set of E25s. They were serviceable. In terms of, like, true wireless earbuds, especially in those days, like, they were $60. They worked reliably.
They were fast.
They sounded fine.
Yeah.
If you were like really into like audiophile nonsense, you might be like, well, these don't sound as good as they could.
They're tinny.
Sure. These were $60 true wireless earbuds. Yeah. You know, even like they sound almost comparable to like my from what I remember, I haven't used them in a while, but like they sound almost comparable to my fucking Galaxy Bud Pro 3s. You know what I mean? Like,
unless you're a complete audio snob, audiophile.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't have some of the nicer features that those sorts of headphones have.
But they're $60.
But they're $60. Like I spent $249 on my Galaxy Buds. So
yeah, but in general, I've never understood that mentality of like the YouTuber says this is good, buy. Like, do some research.
Yeah, they're selling you fucking garbage most of the time. If it's being advertised by a YouTuber, there's a good chance that the reason it's being advertised by a YouTuber is because they couldn't get anyone decent to advertise it.
Yeah, they couldn't get it put on TV or on a actual reputable sort of site or something.
So you know, but I'm VPN'd up personally.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't know if I get hit with it. Like I said, I'll just be watching YouTube from fucking Norway for a while because I think this is something they might turn tail on. Because I know Google. I have used Google products for more than probably most people on this platform have been alive. So like I feel like the average age of a person on YouTube is like 13.
Which is why they're doing this.
Which is, yeah. And there's a lot of content that I watch on this platform that I'm like, I definitely understand why they want to keep this out of the hands of children.
Yeah.
Fair. Sure. Whatever.
Right.
I think maybe there should be more incentive to put that on the parents than anyone else. Yeah. Because I will say this now, I don't know how you feel about it, Jordan, but I was given pretty much unrestricted access to the internet as a kid. It does things to your brain. And yes, the time that I was coming up in was like a little more wild than it is now.
It was definitely definitely a bit more Wild West.
It was definitely more Wild West. You had like shit like Live Leak, and Reddit was like fucking crazy back in those days before they like locked down that platform a lot. So I saw things that like kids wouldn't see now, sure, but like there is still a ton of stuff that they're being exposed to that they probably shouldn't be. But in that same vein, and I don't want to take this into the realm of like serious political discussion, so this is all I'll say on it. In that same vein, certain groups of people, certain activist groups, certain types of people can twist that narrative a little bit to prevent children from learning about things and types of people that they don't want them to learn about. Yeah. That is all I'll say on that topic because I don't want to bring real-world politics too far into this show.
Yeah. No, it's fair, though.
I believe if you listen closely to things I've said in the past, I think you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think we actually had a discussion, like early on, this is when we were in the old set on the couch, we had a long discussion about that exact topic regarding, like, Last of Us 2, I think.
Yeah.
So, I don't remember the episode off the top of my head.
Look up Last of Us 2, it's probably in the title.
But, yeah,
Or the Tads.
You'll see my thoughts on that. But that's just an important bit of housekeeping. So if suddenly there's some kind of weirdness about our uploads, that might be why. Because I am going to have to go through layers of VPNs and stuff, which I think, in a way, this might be a good thing because it might just reduce my YouTube usage, which is probably fine. And I just want to consume more print media than anything else now.
Yeah.
I've just been straight reading books, dude. We had the Pat Rothfuss thing last time. I talked about that. I gave a very provocative title to that one.
I know, I liked the title. No,
That Pat Rothfuss call-out post. I finished that book. I was telling Jordan about it. I finished that book, and I liked how it ended, and I liked it. Again, I'm not reading the second one, because the third one's never coming out. So, sorry, Pat. So instead, like, after reading this fucking tome, this fucking brick, let's give me something shorter. So I picked up The Road by Cormac McCarthy.
Oh, you did end up picking it up.
And The Road, that book, I'm like a little less than halfway through, like 100 pages in, something like that. I think it's short. It's like 220 pages or something like that. So I'm like halfway through, and McCarthy uses probably a third of the punctuation and 10 times more run-on sentences than any competent author should. However, the way he describes, especially this world in The Road, is so... He describes this bleak setting with such, like, sorrow and accuracy that it's beautiful. Some passages, like, sometimes I'll be taken out of the book because I'm like, all right, this is written...
Like a first grade.
This should be 4 sentences, but you just put and it's like, okay. So I have to kind of track what's going on here, so I'm being taken out of this a lot. Then there's like a passage of the most beautiful thing you've ever read, and you're like, okay, I'm back. We're so
back, baby.
But the no quotation marks thing is fucking infuriating.
It is. Why has no one ever like edited these books?
Dude, I don't know.
That's what I don't, because they are good. Like, I read probably 65% of Blood Meridian, and then I finally just threw in the towel because of the punctuation, because that book introduced way too many characters at that point, and I'm like, I don't know who believes what or says what. But it was interesting.
Yeah. I think the way, from seemingly like what I know about Blood Meridian, I haven't read it, but like what I know about it, and then from having read parts of this book, was he's that sort of thing, the way he handles characters works really well when there's two guys, when there's a guy and his son, because the two characters are called the man and the boy. Like, that's how those characters are named. We are never given a name other than that. Mm-hmm. So if you see the word he and it is outside of the context of the son, it's talking about the dad. So you understand that. But like when there's, I think, from my understanding, there's a whole gang of outlaws that is
that he
covered
runs
in
into.
that book.
Yeah.
And I don't think many of them have, like, definitive actual names.
A couple of them did, from what I remember. Like, there was, like, a colonel at one point that was skinning people, and he had a name. And he talks to the guy at that point, and it's like they're back and forth, but you don't know who the hell's talking because he's with his soldiers, and there's, like, fucking 4 of them.
The only character I can remember distinctly having a name from that book, again, I haven't read it, was Judge Holden.
Yeah.
But, the main character is just like called the Kid throughout the whole book.
Kid, yeah.
Something like that. But it's the man and the boy. It's basically father, son, they're on the road in post-apocalyptic America.
It's God of War.
It is a fantastic read. If you can you need to give it some time to get used to the dialogue, because there are times where it is very unclear as to who's talking.
Right.
Because it'll have a line that introduces the person who initiates the conversation, and then it'll be like line, and it's just this person's talking, then this person, then this person, then this person, then this person.
Yeah.
And it goes back and forth. So you have to parse it all the way back to the beginning.
To who started, yeah.
So it's a little frustrating, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a fairly good read, and I plan on doing more. Maybe not Cormac McCarthy. I don't know if I'm going to read. I don't really have a strong interest in reading Blood Meridian. I think that style of writing, the way he does it descriptively, is very interesting. I do think that if I had to do this for a book that's like double the length or more, I don't think I would be as bought in.
Right.
But I definitely want to go on like listen, I'm a bit of a book guy now. I'm a bit of a bookman, because I think there's a lot of people, young men specifically, who don't fucking read. And there's a lot of people who can't.
Not well. Yeah, definitely not. I've had some of them in my group project for college.
It's like,
So I had plenty of those.
because there is a very wide difference between being able to read and being able to understand.
Comprehension. Reading, that's why they call it reading comprehension, because you're not just reading words, you're comprehending them.
And I've not read any, like, I think the most, in recent memory, the most modern thing I've read was a book that came out in like 2010 or something. So like I'm not reading like ultra modern stuff. And from what I've heard, a lot of new books, and especially the popular ones, are writing to you as if you are stupid. They think you are dumb.
Are they wrong is the question.
I've seen people complain about one of my favorite expressions that comes up in books is describing a character as saying like their face darkened or their eyes darkened, which I can picture very clearly what that looks like in my head. But there are people who make the argument that that makes no sense. It's like, no, their face isn't literally darkening. They're not fucking, they're not Tropic Thundering up, dude. They're not straight.
They're not Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, they're not RDJ in Tropic Thunder. They're fucking, it's an emotional darkness. Like you have to have seen this before. You have to have.
Just watch some funeral videos or something.
Like you've seen someone talk and then suddenly get serious.
Yeah.
And there's this almost wave of darkness, aura-wise,
Cascading.
that cascades over their face, and you understand that.
I feel like I learned that shit in like second grade.
So I think as a man specifically, it is my moral imperative to read more books to make up for all the young men who don't. I need to advocate for more young men reading.
Yeah, I stopped reading. I read for like 2 years straight, and then I stopped. I need to go back to it at some point.
I've been reading like a fucking maniac lately. I was trying to get into books a while ago, and then like I fell off of it because there was a span of time, and I didn't keep with it as much as I do now, because I am like a fucking. I would read like that kid, the popcorn reading kid, where it was like, all right, we're gonna be here for 20 fucking minutes now. That's kind of how I would read. I would read a little more competent than that, but like
specifically a little bit more.
Where was it? I wasn't like the dog went outside.
True.
I wasn't like that, but I definitely even still read fairly slow. But I've just noticed the quickness with which I read and the amount of time I can read in one sitting is going up drastically.
Bro is fucking leveling up.
I'm up in my stamina. And
Who up in their stamina?
And it's so I tried to keep on reading when I was a little younger, but like I said, like, there's no fucking way this is the same brain that used to read novels in like a fucking day when I was a kid. And no, it isn't. And you also have to consider when you're reading fucking Magic Treehouse, you're not stopping to consider the beauty of the prose that's put there because it's as simple as possible for kids to understand it.
Yeah.
So I have a great appreciation and affinity for beautiful, nice writing. So I very much appreciate that. So hey, read a book. Especially if you're gonna get fucked by this whole YouTube thing.
It's a perfect opportunity.
Pick up a book. Books, cheap, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you want to read like the classics, like the shit that you should be reading. Classics or like, lauded books throughout history that are like, this one's good, you should read this. Shit that you have definitely heard of.
Yeah.
Shit that you should be reading. And it's okay. It's okay. I'm not trashing. It's okay to throw in a shitty book every now and again. If you want to read something that's trashy and shitty, fine. Like for every, I'll read The Road, but like, it's also okay if you wanted to read The Road and then read like fucking Fourth Wing or something, right? You can do that. But you should also be supplementing that with actually well-written stuff.
Yeah, fair.
That's kind of what I've been on lately. I've just been, so pick up a book, everyone.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Yeah, see, that's my problem is like, Lexi always harps on me because she reads a ton now, and she'll probably stop too when she goes to school in the fall. But
yeah.
She reads a ton now. She's read, I think... I don't want to get this wrong, but I want to say 13 books this year.
Nice.
So she's read a lot.
I've read like 3, so,
So, and I have a lot of books that I've like accumulated that I've put decided to read, but then I read, I think like 7, I think it was last year, I read 7 books, 6 or 7, and then I haven't read since. But it's like with me, it's like I budget my time for different things, and like at the center of it is my main hobby. Like if I have to pick up main skill and then a secondary skill, right? My main skill, my main hobby is just always staying up to date on games, whatever it is, new video games, replaying old games I missed as a kid. Like that's my main bread and butter. So everything else is supplemental, whether it's riding bikes or reading or listening to podcasts. Like that's all my secondary hobby, right? So I alternate in secondary hobbies, I find, like times of the year, for example. In the winter, I listen to way more podcasts than I do in the summer. Because in the summer, I've spent like every weekend the last few weekends when I'm not either doing homework or doing something else for just like adult life, going to the park, going on hikes, throwing a football around, right? Like doing that kind of stuff. But in the winter, I'm not going to be doing that. So like when I have to supplement things in, like my newest thing is I've been working out again. I bought weights. I've been working out at home.
Nice.
I've been really going crazy with the protein.
We're gonna see Tank Top Jordan come back, and it's gonna be over.
Dude, that's the thing. That's my whole vibe is because it's summer and because I've been going outside more, going to beaches and stuff. I'm like, you know what? I gotta get back to lifting.
I want to see you get unreasonably strong.
My plan is I've been really consistent.
Like if you don't put on like 30 pounds of muscle, that's what I'm talking about. You need to be big.
I don't know about all that, but my plan here is to fully get like toned, and that's been my new thing. So like I don't have anywhere I can slot in books at this point.
You look like Swole Jerry.
Yeah, there you go.
So, I get that.
That's been like my new hobby.
I absolutely do that same thing. Hobby rotation is essentially my main things. So I haven't sat down and committed to a video game in a while. So that was like one of my main things. Actually. But now I'm doing Baldur's Gate, which is like I'm taking that game slowly. But I think I'm actually going to finish it this time, and I'm going to play today.
Let's do it.
But I spent a lot of time doing that, playing games, and then but a lot of times, unless I'm playing something like Baldur's Gate, I'm not playing a ton of video games.
Yeah.
Most of the time these days, I'm reading and writing. And that's, I'm reading or writing or sleeping. Yeah. And that's like a good portion of what I do.
But that's the rotation of the hobbies.
You do have to rotate shit out a lot because you have to make, it's tough. It's tough existing, you know what I mean?
There's not enough time in a day.
There
just isn't.
You gotta find ways to manage, especially if you're a guy like me who has a ton of shit that like he wants to do. Mm-hmm. I have a ton of shit that I'd like to do someday, but like if you don't act on that,
yeah,
when is someday, right?
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel about this new part, right? Is like my routine has been go to work for 8, get home around like 5, eat dinner, do our walk, work out, and by the time I actually get into our room to like either do homework or if I don't have homework that day to be like, all right, I'm gonna play a game or do X, Y, and Z. It's like 8:40 if I like really try to crunch time and like get shit done. So it's like I enjoy reading, But in order to read, I'm going to have to pull something else out. And that would have to be my new thing, which is working out. But in my opinion, my skill points currently are more on the intelligence and reading side of things than they are on strength. So
You
it's
want
like
to balance them out?
I'm trying to balance them out. I'm trying to build that strength side. And then maybe when I, get to the part where I'm satisfied and I can maintain, I can go back into reading. But, like, I just don't have that time to pull from anywhere,
Yeah.
So, like, and, like, you could make the argument of, like, oh, you could wake up earlier. But that was my problem, was I was going to the gym for 2 years with our old boss, but we were going at 4:30 in the morning. And I could not be consistent. But you know what I have been really consistent about? Working out at home. After work. I have not missed a single day, and I have been absolutely seeing the, like, benefits of it just in terms of how I feel, the amount of protein I've been eating. I've been consistent with that, but I couldn't be consistent then going at 4 in the morning. So what good does it do me to pull that time to try it again and then to just fail and give up again? Like, it is what it is, So that's just unfortunately how it works, right? Like, everyone has a strength, everyone has a weakness. Some people, like a friend of ours that is jacked, can wake up at fucking 4 a.m.
And
go
he
to the
does.
gym. That's what I'm saying. I know he does. And then go to work and then come home. He also goes to bed early, doesn't he? At like 9, 8 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah.
So, like, that's his day, essentially, is from 4 a.m. to 8. I just choose to make mine from like 8 to 10 or 11, So it's kind of push and pull, but I can't wake up at 4. I know that. I tried it. I did it for 2 years, and I was consistent for maybe a total time of 8 months, maybe. I was actually consistent, and then dropped off.
I have noticed too, and I want to start integrating this more, was like this period of time I spent working from home was like, wow, I just have like, I don't have to account for a commute anymore, and I just have like a ton of shit to...
Well, because your commute's like 45 minutes.
A ton of what, yeah.
One way.
So it's I spent a lot of time commuting. So that also had like increased what I was able to do during those times. So like I might just start doing that more, and to prioritize my health.
Min-maxing.
But yeah, it's I have mush mouth now. I don't know what.
He has not been reading and writing enough, apparently.
I got like my fucking mind went blank for a second. I had a point I was gonna make, but now I don't remember.
Talking about maximizing your time, prioritizing your health.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to fall into routines. I'm trying to, at my grown age of 24, trying to actually like become a functioning adult. I had a false,
That's earlier than a lot of people.
I had a false start. Who knows? Because like I feel like there were aspects that I gained responsibility in early, but then I shoved off a lot of other stuff.
Right. No, that's fair.
So, I was gonna say the education thing. I was gonna say because like there is a reason why I should probably get a master's degree. However, I'm like
way better than Mary Cormack.
I do not. Dude, however, was more commas than that's in that entire book.
That's what I was saying.
However, I was like, if I do this, I don't even really, like, I think everyone can probably relate to this. It's like, you have shit that you're good at and you're professionally qualified to do, and you have shit that you like to do. And those are very rarely the same thing.
Yeah, couldn't be more distant sometimes.
So, like, I have... there's stuff that I'm professionally qualified to do and I'm good at. So I would have to kind of go in that direction.
Right.
Like, I don't know if I get a whole nother degree in this, even though like a master's is like 2 years instead of the 4. You know what I mean?
You already have some experience in the field, which might make it a little better, but now you're also working on top of it full time.
Yeah. So full time plus like, and then I would have to throw away some of my other stuff.
Yeah.
So like, and I would say like the reason I would want to go back for a degree, it's like I would be interested in getting like some kind of formal education in creative writing, but
right, because it's something you
what
want
the
to
fuck
do.
am I gonna do with that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like an asshole with this degree that doesn't fucking do anything.
Yeah.
It it is what it is. You got to manage. I think conclusion wise, we're getting a little, or I'm getting a little scatterbrained and a little weird. But conclusion wise, sum up the last 20 minutes of conversation.
Read
books, prioritize your time well, find shit you like to do, rotate all that out.
Yeah.
So that you consistently have fresh eyes on stuff. So like if you put something on the back, it's okay to put some shit on the back burner for a while. If you bring it back, you know, and if you don't, whatever, right? But like, and time management as an adult is tough.
It is. The system is not set up for it. That's just
no,
how
absolutely
it
not.
is.
Like you're expected. All your productive hours are supposed to be spent making money for someone else. Yeah.
So that they can pay you a portion of that money to supposedly help you live.
So another thing I think to that same end is if you're stuck in the same situation like I am or we both are, where you're just like, you're working the desk, you know, you're at a desk. I guarantee you, okay, I've worked an office job long enough. I have more corporate experience. I had this realization the other day. I have more corporate experience at 24 than most people have by 30.
Yes.
Both of us do. We got corporate jobs, both of us, super early.
Instantly.
Like, I am 24. I've had a corporate job since I was 16. Like, so I've worked enough office jobs to know. Look around. I guarantee you that in that 40 hours, 95% of people in the office, they're putting in maybe 20 hours of work. Yeah. The other 20, they're just fucking around. So if you're able to reclaim some of that time and just, I'm not saying, deliberately like go out of your way to, I want to read this book, so I'm going to start reading this book on the clock. Maybe, I don't know, you can shove off your, look busy for a while while you listen to like an audiobook or something. Yeah. Or if you're in the fucking writing brain that I have, you sit and you conceptualize for a while and you get some ideas going. Yeah.
Make some synapses not misfire.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's fun existing. It's great.
It is. To your point before about the creative writing degree, something I have always wanted to do, but there is absolutely no purpose for me to do it beyond I just want to do it, is I just want to get an automotive degree. Or a certification, like a tech cert. I really just want to go to school and get like an auto tech thing, like our old coworker, well, my current coworker, but your old coworker had. I would love to just do that. But there's zero benefit to me spending money on doing that because I don't have the time to give it. And I don't actually want to work in that field. It's just for me. Like, I just want to have this thing, So it's like, that's how I feel like how you feel with creative writing. I feel like that in a way with auto. Or even like electrical. Like, I have an electrical background in terms of electronics and some actual electrical stuff. But like, I don't know. I'd love to take it a step further and get like what do they call it? Journeyman?
Oh, yeah.
Thing. Like, I'd love to just do something like that and not stick with it, but like try it out. Do it, but like that takes time, that takes money, a shit ton of effort. Like, you can't just up and do that.
And also, but there are things like the creative writing thing, like the automotive thing. If you just like spend and you put the work in and do it, you get better at it naturally. Yeah. Especially writing. Okay, writing. The progress you make is abysmally slow. It will be unbelievably slow at first, and then you'll finally like pick stuff up. Like, I'm doing a lot of work on finding my voice and a lot of work on learning how to describe things and expanding my vocabulary of descriptive words and things like that. I think I'm getting better at it, but you have to consider the greats, even guys who are like self-published or whatever, or just like small-time authors. They are publishing their like 10th book that they've written, right?
And if that one's a blockbuster, that's 1 in 10,
Exactly. So I throw it to this guy a lot, Brandon Sanderson, because I just know more about him because I've listened to his lectures. Right. He got like his 5th book published, and then a couple years later he got his 14th book published. And that's, so you kind of have to put the time in as well. So you're not going to see, and I feel that way with art too. Like, I am so fucking terrible at drawing and doing art. And I know that if I put time into it, I'll get better. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, something's got to give. I gotta there has to be something I'm allowed to be bad at. So
Yeah. See, for me, that's like with cars. Like that's why I do all of my own work to a reasonable amount. Like if I had a secondary car, like when I had the RS, like I was way more at that point primed to be like, let me blow shit apart. Because if I decide on a Sunday, like I'm gonna investigate that noise, but then I go in there and I fucking snap an axle. Sure, I'm out the money and the time, but like it's like, all right, I can still get to work tomorrow. I got the other car. I don't have that now. So like when it comes to bigger things that could put me out of commission, then I'm like, here you go. You take it. So, like, yeah. And I did get exponentially better just working on my car, doing basic maintenance things, like rebuilding the whole front end and stuff. Like, you just get more confident. Confidence is a big thing, too, with a lot of that stuff. Is like you said with writing, like finding your voice. Some of that's confidence, too.
Yeah.
Like wanting to inject some of yourself in there,
Confidence. And I think also in reference to more art, like drawing and painting and shit, I think talent as a concept is kind of bullshit. I'm coming to that realization where like I don't think I've said the opposite before, but I feel like now I'm starting to understand and believe that like no one just has it. Like they just did it a lot until they got good. Until they got really good. So you see some like these hyper detailed paintings and this and that. You know how that person did that? They made thousands and thousands and thousands of paintings and drawings and doodles and that. How did Cormac McCarthy write The Road? He wrote thousands and thousands and thousands of words and pages and books and stories until he got it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think there are certain things that like yes, you might have some kind of advantage over other people in terms of like I don't know, maybe like singing, certain body structures can denote that you can make notes better, but that shit can come with training. So I think I'm starting to believe that talent as a concept is bullshit.
What about in terms of like, it's probably not a great example, but this is the first thing I go to is like, in my life, I have felt like I have like a stat boost to dexterity over most people I've encountered. Like, where someone can look at, say, like my dad can look at an engine and be like, oh, that turns that, which turns this, which engages this, which does this. For me, I could look at like something like an obstacle course, right, as a kid and be like, I got it. Right. I got the prime path. Like, check this shit out. And then other people are like, I can't swing or flip or do this. Like, do you feel like there's any innate sort of talent to that? Like, obviously you could learn. Anybody could learn to do American Ninja Warrior, right? That's how they do that. They train for it.
I think you naturally do stuff. You like stuff that you think that you're just naturally good at is just shit that you did, like and trained yourself unintentionally to be good
just
at.
through growing.
Like I'm the opposite. My dexterity is fucking terrible. I have the. I think I said literally yesterday in a conversation I was having with someone at work, I said like I have the dexterity of a particularly clumsy toddler. Like my dexterity is terrible, but I never did shit like that.
Dexterous maneuvers.
I never did like hyperdexterous things, and I think of something like competitive FPS games or whatever. I never got the knack for that because my brain doesn't process information that fast because I never trained it to do that.
Yeah.
So, and also, like, they knew I was going to be too good, so God had to nerf me. By like, make him stupid. give him brain diseases. So I think that also probably has something to do with it. But, I think you just naturally train yourself to do certain things and then you just come to think of them as something you can do innately.
Yeah, no, that's fair, because I was about to make like a sort of like a introspective rebuttal, and then I rebutted myself in my head because I was going to compare it to a D&D stat sheet. But then it made me realize that most D&D stat sheets are based off what? Your character's background.
Yeah.
Right? If your character's really strong, well, guess what? It's because they were a fighter. They're not just innately strong and they're a bartender, right?
True.
So I like talked myself out of that one. Yeah.
I think of the wizards who are like,
Yeah.
They weren't born with the magical ability. They studied so hard that they got it.
Yeah, they got that shit down.
They can control powers far beyond human comprehension, given to them by the gods themselves because they studied hard enough.
Yeah. No, I think you kind of sold me on the talent thing. Although I will say the same thing about singing. I think singing is definitely one of the exclusions here because there is some science to people with like longer or shorter vocal cords.
Yes.
Like
that is, you do have certain
like
times
objectively.
you have genetic advantages on certain things, but also you can learn
how
shit.
to do things. Like I could learn to sing. Maybe not as good as Shakira, but I could definitely learn to sing.
Like I'm no fucking Freddie Mercury, but like. So, and that's crazy because I've noticed some wild skill fade in terms of my singing.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I listen. I never sing in front of anybody really.
I feel like you've sung in front of me, and that's about it. Like,
and
not
in like a serious fashion though.
Yeah.
In the car, I sing all the time though. I was like, I sing with my whole heart in the car, and I was like, man, I'm getting some crazy skill fade.
That's awesome.
You
got the animus bleed effect from Assassin's Creed.
There's certain things that I'm not able to do anymore. Like my fucking lungs won't allow me.
Chris is like, yeah, in the middle of the car. That's funny though.
But yeah, I think there are things that most attribute to talent that can be attributed to just a lot of practice and a lot of people putting in the fucking hours.
You know what that reminds me of? Sorry, you have another point?
No, that was.
You know what that reminds me of? I heard this, and I had like a coming of Christ moment when I first picked up photography, right? When I first started trying to get back and start taking pictures and learn how to take pictures and not just take pictures, right?
Right.
Those are two different things, and
right.
that kind of ties into this point. I kept seeing, because Instagram, being a multi-billion-dollar company, knows what I think before I do, started feeding me photography reels. And I kept seeing a common through line with a lot of actual photographers. And it was the little joke or the bit of people being like, wow, your camera takes such great photos. Like, no. They take great photos. Yeah. And that's like a perfect analogy for it because, sure, if you gave someone a Nokia from 2005, objectively, anybody could probably take better pictures with a high-end camera.
Sure.
However, when we talk about the art of it, the actual concept, the composition, the lighting, that's what you learn. And some people do have an eye for it as like a talent, so to speak. But anybody can learn that. So it really turns out to be exactly like you said, where like you can train those things,
Yeah.
Like you could hand someone a camera like yours, which is high quality, and then you could hand a photographer my phone, and the photographer will blow them out of the water every time.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's simply because they don't know how to use those tools or what to do.
This thing just enables me to take things that look nicer, but I still have to do it. You know what I mean? And hey, I still fuck up all the time.
Same.
I took hundreds of pictures last time we went to Maine. Mm-hmm. Almost all of them ended up being underexposed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm still learning how shit works. And yeah, once they were corrected, they looked fucking great. But they didn't have the same level of composition and shit that would have existed were I trained in it. Like if I knew... if I spent the time and put in the hours to learn all that and really train the eye for it.
Yeah, because it is about seeing something in a way almost before it happens. Like some of the best pictures I have taken, some of the ones I actually look at still and go like, I would post this. Like I'm proud of this picture. Are ones that like came as a thought first, not just like oh look,
and you framed it and made it like a proper staged thing.
Like I saw like the one I have of the leaf that I've showed you that I took when we were in Maine. That picture to me still is so sick, even though it's simple and I didn't have to put a ton of effort into it. But I saw the leaf, the tricolor pattern, and I had a vision of the story of the leaf, and I was like, yo, let me take a picture of that. And I love the way that picture's framed and came out, and it's great. I could have taken a picture of 1,000 leaves that day, and that's the only one that
we did. We took a bunch of pictures of leaves and flowers and shit,
and mushrooms and
mushrooms, and our buddy holding a mushroom up to his dick.
Yeah, that was that. But yeah,
that actually fucking triggered something in me. You were talking about the story of the leaf, because it is like it's interesting, like it's a spring to fall sort of gradient thing.
Yeah.
And especially at the time of year it was taken, it's very poetic. And especially how it was framed and lit. and the way it was like pulled way underexposed was really well done. And
okay.
on that same end, I think there's a lot of people who will start that pattern of thought and immediately go, oh, that's it's not that deep, or like I'm being cringe right now or whatever. Be cringe.
That's art.
I'm embracing being cringe, and it's only made me happier. You know what
I mean, that is objectively art, right? It's a feeling at the end of the day. Like, you get a feeling from this thing. Like,
if you're constantly afraid of what other people might think of what you're doing, you will never have passion or drive to do anything. And that's just something that I've learned as I failed forward in life. And as I'm getting older. It's something you have to learn. Especially if you're in this generation or the next. You have, and you're constantly, I feel like ever since we were little, it's like we're fucking constantly being monitored, constantly being watched, and constantly being on camera always. And we always have that fucking content brain in our head that we're all hyper aware of what we're doing at all times. And how it would look to an outside observer.
Oh, I don't want to laugh too loud in public because people think I'm weird.
Or like I don't want to dress a certain way, or I don't want to go to a certain event. Why? Because you're afraid people will think you're cringe? Be cringe. Be cringe, be happy. Why not? I never shit on someone. There's a subset of people who do, but I never shit on anyone who's like, yeah, he's just having a good time. You know what I mean? And I think I came to this realization early enough with like the furry community. I am personally not one, nor do I like particularly understand it. But I fuck with it because those guys are just doing their own thing. And they're not bothering anybody. Like, so what if you want to dress up in this colorful costume, or you want to enjoy this sort of subset of art? Who gives a fuck? They're not. They're having fun. They're cringe and they're happy about it. Okay.
Yeah, and I think it helps too with stuff like that to have a group of people or a person or just a community of people who can foster that. So like, there's been times where Chris and I have made a video or done something, and like, we have this idea. We're like, this is awesome. Let's do it. And then we do it and we watch it back and we go,
this
that fucking
sucks.
sucked. But like, that's what it's about, is like, you come up with these ideas, you think of these things, and either you go, oh wow, I stuck the landing on that, or like, kind of sucked. But it is what it is. Like, you're just having a time, man. You know? So,
and also don't think that people don't give a shit, right? Something that I am rapidly coming to terms with, in running the D&D campaign that I'm running, is that I'm writing a ton of stuff that I think is interesting for me to know, and that's the intention I had behind writing it. It's like, this is interesting. I need to plot out this world just like in a way that so things make sense internally to me, and it's information that I know, and I can know what kind of stories can be told in this world, and that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It is baffling how much the other people I'm playing with give a shit about it. I was like, no one's going to give a fuck about this. If they're your friends, there's a good chance they will.
Also, if you give a shit, they likely will.
Oh, absolutely. Like, if I exude nothing but raw passion for what I've created.
Yeah.
And I've gotten nothing but matching energy back.
Yeah.
So like, just be, I don't know, don't be afraid to be cringe. Don't be afraid to put effort into shit. It's just not to get, this is way of a fucking large departure from what we normally talk about.
Feels good though.
But it's like, it's something that I'm learning rapidly as I age, and it's like this fucking way that I've lived has felt caged for so long that when you finally break out, it's weird, and it feels weird, and it's gonna be fucked up, and it's gonna be uncomfortable, but
yeah,
it is. You're gonna learn it. You're gonna get confident in it, and you're gonna enter stages of your life that you didn't know possible if you kept in that cage and kept restrained for so long.
That was well said. That was very well said. Poetic as hell. It actually...
Hey, you know me, they call me the poet.
Do they?
Yep.
Hell yeah. It kind of makes me think
when I walk in the store, they go, oh shit, that's the poet. I'm like, damn right. And I fucking hear ye on the scroll.
Hear ye. That's funny. It actually makes me think of yesterday, funny enough. So I mentioned the working out thing, and we went to our college's gym yesterday because it was raining, and we were like, never been there. Sounds like it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I never went to... My college had a gym, and it was apparently really nice. Never stepped foot in it.
That's what we kept hearing.
I could have for free, and just never did.
Yeah, that's what we kept hearing. So I was like, let's go. Like, whatever, we went. And I had almost like a moment of that, like, I don't want to say the be cringe, because what I was doing was objectively fine, but I definitely was getting some looks.
But most people who do feel like they're being cringe, or all people, I'm going to say this, all people who are doing things that they think are cringe are doing something that is objectively fine.
Yeah, fair. That's fair. So I was there, and my workout set for that day was back and biceps, and then I always throw in abs at the end of all of my workout sets. So, like, I was at a bench, because that's the equipment I train with at home, and I was doing some of my dumbbell rows and stuff like that, and there was a guy on the side of me bench pressing, and he kept giving me some odd looks, and it could just be because, whatever, you're near each other, but it seemed like it was a little bit of a, like, what the fuck is this kid doing? Because I'm doing back using a bench, which is not normally what I do.
Right.
But I was getting looks like that, but I was like, I don't care. Like, I know my workout training. I know what my training program is. I made the program. So then, like, at one point, he was on the side of me. It's a big mirror on the wall. He was on the side of me. I could see him doing his bench with his dumbbells. I was doing fucking air bicycle for abs, where you literally go like this and you just twist.
I have done that before, and it sucks.
Yeah, I was literally doing that. And in my head, I'm like, he's probably looking at me like, what the fuck is this kid doing? But, like, that's just my workout plan. Like, I don't care. Like, maybe it comes across as, like, cringe at the moment, or he's kind of like, this is weird, but, like, I don't care. Like, I had my plan. I stuck to it. I did it. And that's something I struggled with a lot when I was younger, was exactly that. Like, if I'm in public, I don't want to be the spotlight. I don't want to walk up to grab my food and then drop it. And
absolutely. I'm not that guy either.
I don't care now. I really don't.
I'm not that guy either. I have done my utmost to avoid attention from people. Mm-hmm. But like we come from a world, right? Where like, and when you're in school, you are largely rewarded for being quiet and complacent and just existing, and then you're thrust out into the world where you're expected to be loud and stomp your feet and make the noise. But now I've been trained for years and years and years to be avoidant, to be quiet, to not do anything, right? Mm-hmm. And now I'm in an environment suddenly where I have to, if I want to go anywhere, I have to like stomp my feet and make some noise. So you just have to kind of get used to that. And
learn that too. Makes you wonder if the bystander effect actually stems from that in a way. The don't do anything, sit down, wait.
In a way, yeah, kind of does.
You know, be observant rather than reactive. Yeah. That's sort of the mentality you're taught. And then that changes, obviously, but... Right.
There's a big philosophy, and just be cringe, be happy. Don't let people think. I think I'll recommend as well. As there's a video I saw recently by an author who's come up on the show a couple times before, actually. Jason Pargin. He writes John Dies at the End. He wrote I'm Starting to Worry About This Black Box of Doom, which is a fucking phenomenal book, by the way.
How long is that one?
It's like almost 500 pages, I think. It's long, but it is so good.
I've always wanted to read that one because you've talked about it.
It's so good. There's stuff that happens at the end that is like never in fucking a million years would I have seen this. Don't buy it if you're not like chronically online though. Like if you there are certain things that are explained, but if you've been in the zeitgeist of like online culture, you'll understand it a bit better. But anyway, he made a video recently. It was called "Arbitrary Rules Are Ruining Your Life," and in that he kind of explains, in a way, what we're talking about is a little different. Where he's saying like, we view certain people in a certain light because we subscribe to a set of arbitrary rules in our head. And that is causing us unneeded stress when we can just understand that certain people just do things a certain way. And that's why I think I said to Jordan before we were recording, I described a certain person that we both know as someone who I really respect because he marches to the beat of his own drum. He does his own
lives
thing.
His truth.
He lives what he is what he is. And he doesn't let anybody change that about him, and that's a mentality I really respect, and also I'm trying to embody in my own life because it's tough. It's tough to do that.
It's tough trying to fit all these molds simultaneously. If you try to fit all the molds simultaneously, you don't even fit in one. That's all. Right?
Don't mistake avoiding being. Don't make the mistake of avoiding being weird. You know,
we should get shirts that say "Be cringe."
Be cringe, be that's the episode's title. Be cringe, be happy.
Make that the title, actually.
That's what I'm going to do.
That's a good title.
Because, that's, take it from a guy who spent years not doing a goddamn thing because he didn't want to be cringe. And guess what? He wasn't happy either. So.
Interesting how that goes.
Whoa! Put on your waders. Shit got deep around here.
I don't know. I enjoy these kinds of episodes personally. I don't know if people like listening to them, but I really enjoy them.
I think this just speaks to the fucking headspace I've been in for quite some time. Especially given, like, I think it's an age thing, number one. And also, like, I'm really fucking getting my life in order now, which is, like, weird for me. So, I've just been constantly clawing for ground, and I think I'm finally starting to get shit in order, which is nice.
You made that analogy earlier with the power scaling, and that's kind of what it feels like. Yeah, is you're pulling back some of that ground.
Yeah. So. So I think that just speaks to this show also is like just my way of shouting into the void. So like most of the time it's me fucking going cutting a promo about something that I think is fun. Yeah. But sometimes it's also shit like this. And this is a bit of a serious one. And I think it's interesting if I make the point of cutting clips, especially of this conversation, cutting out clips of this just to post as like do some hope posting for a while. Because I think we talked about Superman
before
the show and how that was like apparently a very hopeful movie. I haven't seen it. Jordan has. And that's something I kind of want to see because of that. So we need to do more hope posting.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where like when we started this show, we were like 17, 18. And
when we conceptualized it, we were like 17. When we first recorded, we were 19.
We were 19. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, because we couldn't even drink that, obviously. So, yeah, like we started it at 19. Now we're 24. Like, bro, it hasn't hit me yet that like
I'm in my mid-20s. That's crazy.
Well, that and like for me specifically, especially with like recent events, I'm like, Chris, I'm getting married. Like that's happening at some point.
He is.
Like officially, it's not like a concept anymore. It's like, no, it's gonna happen.
Or in my case, it's holy shit, my friends are getting married. These two people that I care about very deeply are now married. That's crazy.
Yeah. Like,
or I go on like Instagram or something, and I see someone that I've known, like I knew from high school. It's like, oh, this is their kid.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Or worse, this is their third kid. What
are you talking about? This is my. Shit gets real.
It ramps up.
It gets real.
Exponential growth is real.
So you got to get my shit in order too.
Yeah. Yeah, which I think you're doing a stand-up job of at the moment. So I try to foster that as much as I can and like support that, obviously.
Yeah, shit gets real weird at this age at this point in your life.
Yeah, they always say midlife crisis. What about early life crisis? Like,
well, there was the concept that came up some time ago about the concept of a quarter life crisis.
That's a better name for it. Yeah.
And I get that because I think we're constantly faced with our own mortality a lot more now. Mm-hmm. I think we understand implicitly that death is coming for us.
No matter who, what, when, where.
Be afraid. Mm-hmm. Or we're constantly thrown into a cycle of like tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. So some people are like, well, we're not going to be here for much longer anyway. So we might as well, make hay while the sun is shining. And that's where that sort of thing comes in. And I understand that. I feel like I had that mentality from a little earlier than what people were talking about, the age range they were talking about. From probably 18 to 21, I largely had that mentality. It was like, yeah, let's get shit done while we're still here, as in instead of doing it in a productive and healthy way as I'm doing now, it's more of a well, I could do this. What if I spent a lot of money trying to do something that I only vaguely care about?
Yeah, and then it either falls through or you can't see it to fruition, or you do see it to fruition but you didn't care about it, so it's not even the original vision.
Yeah. So, and that's the point of the midlife crisis where some guy hits 50 and he's like, I have to get a motorcycle. I have to get a motorcycle and a regrettable tattoo. I have to do it.
Yeah, it's fair. Oh, man.
Yeah. Quig, make a dick joke so that we can bring this one back before the end.
Fuck, I don't know.
Me when
They really called Nightwing Dick Gray Sun. Kind of weird.
they really
Kind of weird.
listen.
Kind of strange.
They really took that thing that points out direction. They called it a cum piss.
Very weird. Can't get on that. I don't subscribe to that. Don't subscribe.
You know what? Fuck the whole thing. That guy who invented the cum piss should feel ashamed.
You are cringe.
You are cringe, and you cannot be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed our hope posting for today.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I got. Very good.
Hopefully, we find something upbeat and fun to talk about next time around.
I feel like this should come across in like a not an upbeat manner, but uplifting.
I think it was uplifting. It was upbeat in a sense that, like, you know what I mean.
I was upbeat. Sorry.
There we go. There's the
dead joke.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll return to some other bullshit later on. How do we go from a video in which a podcast in which we discussed the mechanics of a character named John Freak who exudes baby oil to this?
That's growth.
That's growth. That's progress. That's forward progress.
Hey, we'll see, because the next recording is when we do the 2 episodes, because it overlaps with our trip. So there could be a little dichotomy there. There could be 2 similar episodes, or they could be vastly different.
We'll see how that goes. We'll see what happens in the next couple weeks. Like,
if anyone explodes.
Yeah, what's gonna happen is, my heart's finally gonna explode, and that's it. And that's I'm gonna have to figure out a way to leave you with my brain so that you can finish my book.
Oh yeah, fair.
I'm gonna fucking shove all my thoughts onto a USB drive. Like, you're gonna need to use this. Don't look at most of the content in there, because I guarantee you it's not something you want to see.
Yeah, I'll be having schizophrenic episodes where I'm doing the podcast and you're not even there, and I'm having full-on conversations with you. Oh yes. No, dude, we gotta do it like Cyberpunk. You give me an engram, and I just fucking see you.
Imagine that.
That would be terrifying.
If you put a fucking like engram chip in your head, and suddenly it was me.
Fuck, man. That would be crazy.
That'd probably be worse than Johnny Silverhand.
That would be infinitely worse. I'd prefer a terrorist.
Imagine having me watching over your shoulder all the time.
Dude.
All the time. Every moment of the day. Every single one, I'm looming over you like a ghost. You'd be on the shitter and be like, hey.
Nice cock.
Yo, that thing's substantial, man.
I'd be taking beta blockers out the ass, bro.
Nice. Man.
That's all we got.
Anyway, let's remind the people.
So, as always, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Cast, and the RSS Feed. YouTube and Spotify are the video platform where you can see us. We have Instagram, TikTok, and check us out there. There might be some hope post going there. Who knows? And contact us via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send us comments, questions, concerns, and death threats. Also, send us money, because our Mitzer thing does not read SD cards anymore, because everything we buy sucks.
Fucking equipment's breaking down rapidly.
Yeah. The thing that has to work twice a month just...
It shits. It's
crazy. One job twice a month and it just implodes.
Oh, man.
All right, goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.